it out of this hole, and it looked like a piece of slate, but it was coming up metal, so I turned it over. It actually has backwards writing on it. I'm assuming it's some kind of printing plate, and I will try to decipher that. I'm going to try to read it here. I can read section 11, property. And so, like I say, it's written backwards as if it's some kind of printing plate. So I'll figure out what it is. I'm looking to see if I can find the rest of it. But I'm in this place where there's looks like a little bit of trash, but interesting trash. So pretty neat. Okay, I wanted to start by giving you a little better look at the piece that I found. I found it like this, and it looks like almost concrete, but it's actually some kind of metal. And when I turned it over, I saw this backwards writing, so I thought I'd start to do a little discovery on research and find out where it came from and why it was in the place that we found it. The first thing I started to do was just to try reading it backwards, and could pretty much, with some time, read it backwards, but I thought it'd be a lot easier if I could read it frontwards. So I decided to try to stamp it onto something, and talking with my daughter, talked about different ways to do that, whether with an ink pad or putting something on it and then stamping it onto paper. And then, being the technology person she is, she said, why don't I just take a picture and flip the picture? And I did, and it worked pretty well. So here's the picture flipped, and the words I can read look like the end of constitutional, and then MBER for September, November, December, and the big number 2 at the top. And it looks like the end of General Assembly, and then I can see section 11 and what I think is part of article. And the next line, Constitution, and enact with a hyphen, and then the next line, lieu thereof, change, and something on property for, and certain counties. So I just need to do some Google searching and see where those groups of words come together in one document. So my next step was to do that. Okay, this is what we were wanting to search for. Here are the words from the piece. Some of them are partial words. And so I'm going to assume that these words are what's supposed to be there, and some of the partial words. And in lieu thereof. So here's what I searched for. And let's see what we get. So here's the result once I type these words into Google search, and I see a lot of our words found in these results, but none of them are really in the right order. And so I also see a lot of different states listed here. I'm in Missouri, and so I don't see, here's one for Missouri, but I'm going to go ahead and type in Missouri as an additional search, see if it narrows it down a little bit. So here are the results I've gotten with Missouri. And as I look down through here, after spending some time on it, I found a couple of things. Here are a couple of Missouri towns I know, Moberly and Sikeston. They both list 1942 in October, and the bold words are the words that we typed in, and they're looking pretty close. I also noticed this AR hyphen is exactly the way it is on our piece that we found as article. And so I went ahead and clicked this link, which sends us to a newspaper archive for Sikeston Herald, Thursday, October 22nd, 1942. And so we can actually take a look at that. This is a paid site, but every day they give you one free search. think it's every day. And so this turned out really neat. This turns out to be a constitutional ballot for this day for the upcoming election, which is going to be November the 3rd, 1942. And some things are looking very familiar, especially this number 2 right here. And as I look at that, it looks really familiar. So we're going to take a closer look at that. Just like today in our newspapers, we have a posting of what's coming up in the election, and it looks like that's what's happening here. There's 4 amendments to the Constitution looks like for the state of Missouri, and so number 2 is the 2 that's on our piece. So we're going to take a closer look at this and compare it to what we found and see if this is exactly where our piece came from. So we can actually see that this is an exact font, the exact everything, and we can see that some of our guesses were true. One that wasn't at the top with the MBER, I was guessing a date, a month, but it actually is the word number instead of December. And everything else seems to match up. I'm going to try to see how closely this matches before we go on. So you can see this is a perfect match, and I think we have found the answer to our question of what this came from and what was its purpose. And I think it's really cool looking. The other questions that come up are, was this just used for the newspaper, or was this a print stamp to use for making the ballots for the county or for the state throughout the state? So I'll see what I can find out. Really pretty cool. Now, what do? They start with that, and does it ever? This is what's actually used to do the printing, right?
Yeah, that's what did the printing, and I've got my.
Oh yeah, that's good. I see it now. So that's not really very deep.
No, no. I'll show you a little bit more here in just a minute.
Okay.
Here's another one. See.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of a deeper little.
Yeah, it's a little deeper, kind of like the letters are there.
Huh.
There's a schoolhouse.
Oh, okay. So that's like if you wanted to do a printing, that would be what you'd use to set in there for the. That's Maysville School.
That's the old Maysville School, the original.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was the one before the.
No,
modern one, or is that the original one from this?
That's the one up there on the south side.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
See?
Yep.
Here's your door right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right here's the door. Here's the west door. And of course, the east door's over here.
And boy, if you feel that, you can't even tell that's on there unless you look at it.
I'll show you here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's go this way. Here's letterpress.
Okay.
Okay. You slid the form down in here, and the rollers would roll over it and print it. Now, looky here. See here? There's some where I printed here to know where to put my deals to where the form would go, would print on paper. This holds the form in here.
Mm-hmm. That way it wouldn't move around on you. You press it the same every time.
Like that.
Yeah.
And you put it in there one at a time. Is this whirling up and down? See? That's the way you print it.
That is neat. Yeah.
Now, all right, come on.
Yep.
Oh, here's the form that goes in that little letterpress. I know, the last thing I done was numbered.
Right.
And see how it goes in there, and I have to lock it in.
Yeah. So nothing moves.
So it won't come out. It goes in there, and
And you and you just adjust the
See?
number each time. That's neat. Yeah, that is something.
And all right, over here.
Now these are little linotype things you were talking about, or what is
Well,
that?
those are spacers.
Spacers for
Yeah.
okay.
See, look.
To fit
see
in here.
Right here. See
Okay.
the little one? Now here's the big blocks. Here, see?
Oh yeah.
That's
So you can adjust.
Here.
You can adjust that
Uh-huh.
to whatever spacing,
Uh-huh.
backwards, sideways, up and down.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Now looky here.
Yeah. See, that looks like the kind of.
Looks like they're praying or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't tell what that is. Little decoration.
Yeah. Now this is a linotype. See that back there?
Oh, okay. That's why they called
yeah.
it that.
That's why they call it that.
Today we'd call that
Let's
clip
see.
art.
Yeah, that's a. See what it is? Paper
It's a paper
behind,
and a scroll and a
there's
quill, yeah.
the old quill that you
Mm-hmm.
used to print with.
Yep. Yep. Little Thanksgiving cornucopia there. Yep.
There's something.
That is neat. There's somebody's face there looking.
Yeah. There's a linotype slug.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute.
And the machine just kind of made that.
In the memory of your loved one, but help to save SOUL
Probably souls.
souls. I get souls. And see here's a whole
With a block of them there.
block of them.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, there's linotype.
Yeah.
9, figure 9. There's 0.
That took a while to put a page together, didn't it?
Yep. When you had to hand set it, yes.
Right.
When you had to hand set it. Oh,
Oh yeah, there's a little Bible.
there's your Holy Bible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I say, we'd call those clip art images today, where you just go in and put them in there, but no clipping on these. He's thinking, questioning.
Oh my.
Well, that is something.
You see, here I've got a chase here. It's already, I keep
Oh, for tax return. That's kind of what you were.
Baker's tax
Printing
return
over
down
there.
St. Joe.
Okay.
I do folders for her every year ahead of tax time, because she does a lot of tax work and now there's the kind of drawers that the handset type went in.
Mm-hmm. Now somebody told me that you would have, if you had letters in there, you'd have an upper set and a lower set for uppercase and lowercase letters.
Plus the figures and 1, 2, 3, and okay. Here's 2 R's.
Yeah.
And see that?
Yeah, I don't think I can quite see it.
On the front side, see, that's what.
Oh, now I see them. Oh, I was looking for a bigger one.
They're little.
Yeah,
These are little.
look like little dots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's neat.
And, okay, this is what you put the type in as you set it on the linotype. And this is what we call a galley of type. Okay, the Union down in Kansas City, St. Joe, and wherever like it is, if you could set a galley an hour, man, you were really doing great.
Really?
And the Union had to be able to set a galley an hour. Well, God, I could set a gallon an hour on an old machine when I worked for the newspaper. It was nothing to set a gallon an hour.
Yeah. Still, that's a lot of handwork there. Now, did sometimes you get something that was already made from, like, the government, where they would have something like that, and you could print, if it was all ballots, you could print that.
Yep, sure
So that could be what I have. You never know.